hopefully Henry doesn't bark because he is literally right there. And that will scare me and that will probably scare you. So let's hope that no one shuts their car door because that is the cause for concern here. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Maddie. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Today I'm in the bedroom because the lighting in this January 26th is not good. It is very gloomy, cloudy. So I'm literally sitting directly in front of the window that has the only sunlight, really. So that's why we're here. Also, I needed like something to put my laptop on because based on the title of the video, we are doing my 2025 highly anticipated new releases. No, I have not learned my lesson from last year. I am still very excited for some of these books. Let's just hope they don't disappoint me like they did last year. So I'm gonna just go in order of when they're being published. And when this video goes live, there will be 2 books already that are published, like they're live, they're out there, live, published. But I'm including them because I'm excited for them still, and they're still a 2025 release. One I may have read already. Let's find out. So the first one, which is on everyone's list this year, is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. And the only reason that I am excited for this book is because of the cover, which I'm probably going to put here. If I don't put it here, then that's embarrassing. The cover got me. I have so much beef with Grady Hendrix, and I told myself the last book I read from him, I was not reading any more books by him. I'm like, we're done. Like, it's not worth it for me. And then he had the audacity to come out with that gorgeous cover, and I'm like, how can I not? Like, truly, how can I not? So I am going to give him a chance. It comes out, or it already came out, January 14th. I have not read this one yet. I'm waiting until I'm in the right mood because I think I already have hesitation with Grady Hendrix, and so I don't want to read it when I'm not really in the mood for horror. And lately I've been in my sci-fi era just over this last like December, January. So I think probably closer to the spring I'll be reading this. So this one is set in the 70s, which at the time, if you were an unwed mother or pregnant, then that was like a big no-no and you hid that from your family. So this is about the home where those girls are sent to have their babies and put them up for adoption. Basically, the families can be like, oh, they're at summer camp or they're visiting their aunt in like Florida, and then they come back and it's like nothing ever happened. So this is about the home that those girls go to, and at this like home for wayward girls, they are just told everything, what they're eating, what they're doing, like how to think, basically. Like they are just very controlled until the main character meets this librarian who gives her a book about witchcraft. And I think that brings the girls together. And this is where I have my gripe with Grady Hendrix, because I'm like, he just writes these so specific stories about women and women empowerment, and I want to so badly to be like, yeah, but unlike Nat Cassidy, he misses the mark for me so hard. Nat Cassidy is a man that can write about women and their struggles, and I'm like, okay, fine. You get it. You get a pass. Grady Hendrix, I feel like misses the mark. And so this is another one where I'm like, please, this is your last chance with me. Like, do it right. So the next book that comes out in January, it's January 28th, and it is Eric LaRocca's second novel. I think this is his officially second novel, and it's called At Dark I Become Loathsome, and I have read this one. I got a beautiful art, and I don't want to share my thoughts on it in this video, but it will be in a video at some point. I'm pretty sure I posted my review on Goodreads already, so if you are like curious, you can just pop on there. But this one is about Ashley, who lost his wife to cancer, and then shortly after, his son goes missing, and ever since then, he feels like he lost his purpose. And through that, he finds this ritual that he does for other people. And what this ritual claims to do is makes people realize how great life is and how worth living it is. It's a lot of people who are dealing with like depression and not wanting to be here, and he helps them through this fake death ritual. And then one day something happens. There's a development that happens, and it changes Ashley's view on these rituals and the purpose of them, and things get a little bit sketchier. I mean, it's a fake death ritual where he buries people alive. So I don't know how you can get sketchier than that, but I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. So I was very excited for this one. Did I enjoy it? Go check Goodreads, I guess. It'll be in a video at some point. The next book coming out on the same day, January 28th. I truly know nothing about this. Is absolutely a cover read. I found this from a Goodreads article of books that are coming out this year, and it's called Blob, a Love Story. This cover is amazing. I just love it. I also love that it's a debut, so hopefully I will discover a new author that I really like. And the fact that it's blurbed by Kevin Wilson, who wrote Nothing to See Here, which I also love. So that gives me hope on this one. I don't want to look too much in this one because I want to keep it a cover read, but the blurb says, a hilarious and moving debut novel about a young woman who decides to turn a sentient blob into her perfect boyfriend. So it's giving like Annie Bot, but in maybe a more wholesome way. I'm hoping it's more lighthearted and maybe a little bit more silly goofy than Annie Bot, because I've already mentioned my beef with that. But I am very excited for this one. It looks really cute. Then we're gonna jump ahead to March 25th. We have Ashley Winstead's newest release coming out. This book will bury me. I think her last release was very polarizing, at least from what I've seen. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite, but one of my all-time favorite books is by Ashley Winstead. That book is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, by the way, not The Last Housewife, although that one is also very good. So I'm hoping I enjoy this one just as much. And it is a chilling, compulsive story of 5 amateur sleuths whose hunt for an elusive killer catapults them into danger as the world watches. I don't know if this is like a true crime podcast or trying to actually solve the crime. That is a complete assumption. But I feel like she kind of already did that in The Last Housewife. But this book is about a college student whose father unexpectedly dies, and through her grief, she finds true crime and gets connected with this armchair detective group on the internet. And this group then goes and investigates a murder massacre, in which the more that they unravel, the more it seems like it's connected to them. The blurb here says, something's not adding up. They begin to suspect their killer may be smarter and more prolific than any they've faced before. Placing themselves in the center of the story starts to feel more and more like walking into a trap. So intriguing enough for me to pick it up. I am excited about it just because of the author. If you took the author name out of this and just read me the blurb, I don't know that I would be that excited for it, but I'm still going to check it out. This is one where I need to be careful with my expectations, I think, because if I have too high expectations, then I might be disappointed. So I'm gonna go in with that one with an open mind. This one's another seemingly fun one. It's a litfic and it comes out April 8th. And it's called Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. And the reason I'm so excited about this one is because it seems like it's gonna fall into that so weird, fever dream, unhinged girl category, because this book is about a normal woman who becomes sexually attracted to planes. And her like ultimate fantasy is to marry one of those planes by dying in a plane crash. And so that alone is so unhinged, and I'm just so intrigued by that because you could just go so off the rails with that story. So that one seems really fun. I don't want to know more than that because that is enough to completely grip me, and I think this is what I'm going to pick up right when it comes out because I need to know more. This next one may be the highest on my list in terms of expectation and anticipation, and that is Nat Cassidy's latest novel, When the Wolf Comes Home, which is coming out April 22nd. I'm kind of sad about the cover of this one because I feel like the cover of Mary and the cover of Nestlings were both like pretty good. I mean, I'm not huge on birds, so I didn't love the cover of Nestlings as much, but it was still pretty nice, and I feel like this cover is like not it for me. I don't know, it just doesn't match the same energy as the other books, and maybe that's intentional. This one is about a struggling actress who finds a young boy hiding in her bushes, and she finds out he's running from his father, and the book is following the two of them running for their lives from his father. The blurb on Goodreads does not give much. Maybe closer to the release date they'll give more, but I'm actually okay because this is another one where the author, I'm good. Don't show me the title, don't show me the cover, don't show me the blurb. I give it to me, I will read it. So this next one is also coming out April 22nd, so 2 bangers on the same day. And that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Pretty much the only romance author I will read. This one is about 2 writers who are competing to tell the story of this socialite who people haven't heard from in years, her biography. And the fun thing about this competition is the socialite, whose name is Margaret, has only given each of them like tidbits of information to go off of. So they don't really know the tone of the story. It could be a comedy, it could be a drama, like all of that stuff is still a mystery to them. So that is a very intriguing premise. It does seem similar to The Writing Retreat and also The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I loved one, hated one. So we're 1-1 on that. Maybe this can be the tiebreaker. I also am really excited about this one, aside from the fact that it's Emily Henry and she writes the best romance, in my opinion, is that it's about writers, which I think Emily Henry does so well. My favorite book from Emily Henry is Beach Read, which is about writers. And I know Book Lovers is also very popular, which is about a writer. So I think this is going to be another one that's up there. This one is going to be my summer read, my beach read, so to speak. I know that this will be probably a July or August read. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I usually read her books in like May or June, I think, when it's just starting to get warm and I need something to give me the excitement for the summer. I think this book's gonna do that for me. The next book coming out May 13th is The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. I have only read one book by Ocean Vuong and I loved it. His writing is some of the most beautiful writing I have ever read. And the plot for this one seems very heart-wrenching. So I'm just gonna read it to you because I don't think I could do better than Goodreads. One late summer evening in the post-industrial town of East Gladness, Connecticut, 19-year-old Hai stands on the edge of a building in the pelting rain, ready to jump, when he hears someone shout across the river. The voice belongs to Grazina, an elderly widow succumbed to dementia, who convinces him to take another path. Bereft and out of options, he quickly becomes her caretaker. Over the course of the year, the unlikely pair develops a life-altering bond, one built on empathy, spiritual reckoning, and heartbreak, with the power to alter Hai's relationship to himself, his family, and a community at the brink. This book is gonna change my life. This book is gonna wreck me. I know. Like, I'm speechless. I don't have anything to add. I am so excited for this one. I think it's gonna be a crier. I think it's gonna be a sobber. And we love a book that makes us cry on this channel. So looking forward to that one. The next book comes out May 13th, and that is Immaculate Conception by Ling Wang. And this one I'm purely reading because their debut, Natural Beauty, was so good that I think it was a 5-star read for me. It was definitely up there, either a 4.5 or 5. So I just automatically, when I have a 5-star read from an author, have to pick up their next book. This one seems a little bit unhinged, which again I love. It's about two friends and one becomes a little bit more obsessed with the other and they develop this codependent relationship. And then there's some other things in the mix, with one of them falling and marrying a billionaire who has a company that deals with heightening empathy, like a tech company. A lot of things at play. I love tech horror. I don't know if this is going to be tech horror, maybe, but I am hopeful. The last part here says, Ling Huang offers us a portrait of close friendship, achingly tender and twisted, that captures the tenuous line between love and possession that will haunt you long after you turn the final page. I think Ling Huang for me is a really great author that takes literary and horror and then just blends it together in this like yummy, delicious book. So I'm excited for this one. Okay, so when I said that Nat Cassidy's book may be my most anticipated, I think I lied. I think this one might be. And that's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it comes out June 3rd. And I will go to war over the fact that Taylor Jenkins Reid has no flops. None. However, I have not read all of her books. Some of her romance I have not read from before. I have 2, I think, on my TBR physically. So I can't speak to those. But anything recent, just perfection. She can do no wrong. I do not give a shit about tennis at all. But did I absolutely love Carrie Soto? Of course I did. Because this woman can make me love anything because she just writes about it and makes it interesting. I also love that she's sort of building her little universe with different characters kind of transferring over to different books. So I don't know if this book has any of that like transferring of characters, but we're gonna find out. Do you remember 30 seconds ago when I said I didn't care about tennis and she just made me care about tennis? This is gonna be another book like that, because first of all, it's set in the 1980s. I do not care to read about the 80s. Personally, I wasn't alive then, so I have no nostalgia tied to it, and I don't think it was the best decade. I know that people that were teenagers in the 80s will fight me on that. Feel free to argue in the comments. That's totally fine. But it's also about a space program, which, I mean, that could be kind of fun. I don't usually like reading about space. But this book is about, in the 1980s, a space shuttle program and the extraordinary length we go to live and love beyond our limits. Do not care. I don't care about that at all. But I know, because it's Taylor Jenkins Reid, that by the end of it, I'm going to be like, I love the 80s and I love space. So just be ready for that, because I'm going to eat my words. I know I am, because she can make me love anything. Truly, she can. The next book on this list is coming out June 10th, and that is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. And yes, I do have the audacity to put a new release from an author that I still have to read from on this list. Yes, I know. It's because I know I'm going to love his writing. I have 2 books already on my physical TBR that I'm going to read this year. Mark my words, I'm going to. Razor Blade Tears and Blacktop Wasteland. Both of those I own, and I will get to. Will I jump ahead and read this one first? Possibly. Possibly I might. This book is about a main character, Roman, who is kind of like a hotshot. I think based on this sentence about making his clients rich, he's good with numbers and he's good with money. And his father dies, and so he has to go back home to their like rundown town and help his siblings, who are both not doing well financially, probably mentally also. Their father just died. So he comes to help them out. And I think this is a situation where it's like the big fish in a small pond, but then he gets in over his head because he's used to dealing with these super rich guys. And it says here, his work with wannabe tough guys, he's forgotten that there are real gangsters out there. So it seems like he may get himself in a little bit of trouble. But that is a common theme with S.A. Cosby, is writing about main characters who will do anything for their families. And I think that's a really interesting motivation for a main character. Another author who does that well is Gabino Iglesias, and I love his writing, so I'm hoping I will love this one too. And the last book on my list is coming out October 7th, and that is Nowhere Burning by Catron Ward. This one's about Riley and her younger brother Oliver, who run away from home to join a group of teenagers that are squatting in this abandoned ruins, like movie star ranch, which, if you know anything about the Manson cult, that sounds very familiar. So I'm wondering if this was inspired by that, and if it was, I was very, this is gonna sound bad. This is gonna sound really bad. But when I was a teenager, I was very obsessed with the Charles Manson cult and the murders and everything to do with that. Not in like a glorifying way, but more just in, I had like a very big obsession over cults in general. And so I was fascinated by it. If this is based off that, I will love this book. But I love Catron Ward because her plots always have some crazy ass twist that you never see coming. At least I don't. And that's what I love reading hers for. And I feel like the last 2 I've read from her have not hit for me. So I'm hoping that this one will kind of bring me back. But I'm really interested in the plot anyways, even if there aren't crazy twists. Reading more about this, it also seems like there might be a little bit of influence like Peter Pan, because the ranch is called Nowhere and the kids that live there are called the Nowhere Kids. And they talk about it, how it's a place where adults can't enter, and they're just like a bunch of like feral children. So I'm wondering if that is also an influence. All of this is just guessing until October 7th when it comes out, and then I can finally read it and find out for myself. So those are all of the books that are releasing this year that I'm super pumped about. I think that there's 13, which is my lucky number. So hopefully that means something. Let me know in the comments the book that you're most excited to come out this year. I would love to hear about it. If you like this video and you want to support my channel, feel free to give it a thumbs up. It definitely helps me out. And if you want to see more videos by me, definitely be sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell so you're notified when I upload. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you very soon in another video. Bye.